Us about that, Ray, a little bit more about it. Before we had that, the track before was, of course, The Bump by the Blue Echoes. So that one kind of sneaked its way in, didn't it? It's amazing what these things can do, isn't it?
I know.
This technology, it sneaked in all of its very own without telling anybody, and then played the bump for everybody. But anyway, Ray then came in with his production of Sunday Morning Lovers. What happened with that one then?
Well, that one was played. It was entered into the. I entered it into the American Song Festival.
Yeah.
And it got into the top 100 disco easy listening category, which I was very proud of.
And it wasn't you singing it, was it?
No, it was a friend of mine, Adam Dion, who is a very successul entrepreneur in Australia at the moment, and we're still very good friends too. Fantastic. Which is good. One thing I would like to add, Bill, on most of the work that I've done with the Blue Echoes and with Adam and with the big orchestral ones, is a bass player called Dougie Reese.
Yeah.
And Dougie Reese came over from London to Australia in the early 70s, and he was the original musical director for Dusty Springfield in the early 60s.
Right.
And if you have a look at any early black and white clips of Dusty doing her shows from on TV over here, you'll see him. He's the bass player.
Really?
And we're still very good friends, and also he plays with me in a band called Flashback.
Right.
Which we play still all this old stuff, all the old rock and roll stuff, this like the Cavern.
This is your current band, isn't it? Flashback. Yes. And so apart from playing at the Cavern, you're still playing.
Oh, I have to.
And letting it rock and roll all over again with a band called Flashback. When did Flashback start?
Flashback have been around for about 20 odd years. And I came to them probably about 5 years ago. Yep. They decided to have keyboards in the band just to add a little bit of variety to the sound of the band. But the lead singer predominantly does Elvis Presley stuff very well.
Yep. So you're still doing on the lighter pop side. You're still doing.
They're still doing the early rock stuff like we're doing at the Cavern the other night.
So I know you're itching to tell me all about your experience at the Cavern. But before we get to the Cavern, you did a gig last Thursday night, didn't you? Down at Mersey Rats in Seaforth in Liverpool, and in the Latham Hall.
Latham Hall, yeah.
Wonderful Latham Hall.
What a wonderful hall it was. Very, I would say, over the top as far as the ambience goes, but lots of vibes there. And I was told that that's still the same stage that they use there when the Beatles worked there.
Yeah, the Beatles played 10 times on that stage that you were stood on. Yeah, and now they call it the Beatles Bar, don't they?
Oh, the Beatles Bar.
Yeah,
yes.
That's right. And amongst one of the many things on display in the Latham Hall. It's too numerous to mention, but they've put a Maserati down there. I don't know if you've seen it, Diane. There's a Maserati in there now, and one of those I think costs somewhere around about 200,000 quid. I may be way out on that, but it's not a real one. It looks like one,
right?
But it's just a box, a fiberglass box. But it still costs 15 grand. More than the average person would pay for a car. Anyway, put that in amongst all the other memorabilia. And amongst all the memorabilia there's effigies of Marilyn Monroe, Elvis Presley, you name it. The Simpsons are there. R2-D2 is there, from Star Wars.
Yes,
in other words, very much a film theme about the place, but rooted in this 60s Beatles thing. And they played there well before they became famous.
Yes.
With Pete Best on drums and also Stuart Sutcliffe playing some of the guitar as well. So that was the very, very earliest of days. And there are not many places left on around Liverpool that are left where the Beatles played now. They're gradually being pulled down and demolished and whatever. But the Cavern is still there, all in its glory, be it a little bit altered.
Yes.
It's still nonetheless the Cavern. There is no place on the planet like it. So how was it for you, Ray?
Oh, it was great. It was really good. It was very nostalgic. Not that I'd been there, played there before, but just to be there when it all happened here in the 60s, you know, in Liverpool.
Yeah.
And, you know, some of the groups are still going. I think the Searchers have just came to Melbourne before we came over here, and they make numerous trips.
Yeah.
And they were publicised, and they're still very popular. And even the Kinks.
Yeah.
We happened to see, Jill and myself happened to see a show last year, their Broadway show, their West End show.
Yeah, that West End
Lazy
show.
Sunday or Sunday afternoon.
Lazy Sunday afternoon. I believe it's terrific.
Yes, and why it was unusual, actually my daughter lives in London now, and we went there, the three of us, and my daughter said, "Oh, Dad," she said, "there's a celebrity in the," I can't say it, I just washed my teeth today, Bill. I can't do a thing with them.
Right, all right.
And anyway, she said, "There's someone very important here." And so we were all looking around, and I'd seen a documentary on the Kinks about 3 months before I came over to Liverpool for the first time, and it was Ray Davies doing
it. Does,
and I said, "Gee," I said, "that just sounds like the original group." And of course it was, because I hadn't seen the Kinks for 40 years or so, so I knew what he looked like now.
Yeah.
And in the audience, sitting one row back, was Ray Davies.
Ray Davies, his brother.
Well, the lead singer,
fantastic.
So I was about to go up and say hello to him after the show, but apparently 3 minutes before the end of the show, he'd left.
Yeah.
Because people were looking around, you know, looking for someone, you know, they didn't recognise him.
He made his escape, Ray.
But I recognised him.
Yeah. Yeah, that's magic. So take us back to the Cavern then.
Yep.
So you got on stage there.
Yes.
With your keyboard.
With my keyboard.
And then what happened?
Well, then we were playing with some guys who were, I believe, born and bred in Liverpool, and they knew that, you know, they knew their way around the place. The thing that we did have in common, though, Bill, is the music.
Yes, of course. Well, these guys played in the original bands in the 60s. These are the bands who didn't make it. And a lot of Liverpool bands didn't make it.
Oh, okay. Tell me more.
Excellent musicians they were. One of them, Ken Shalliker, was in the Dominoes for a while.
Right.
Played in Hamburg with King Size Taylor and the Dominoes, and several other people in the Swinging Blue Jeans were there, and a guy called Lee Curtis was there.
Well,
with his all-star band.
I got there and played with him. Remember?
Yeah. And Ray didn't tell you this, but when he was at Mersey Rats at the Latham, he got invited up after the set he played. He got invited by Lee Curtis and to play in his band as well. So he got another shot at playing.
Right.
So I tell folks, if you don't.
Yes, why not?
So that was great. I think that's a great honour, because you obviously enamoured yourself so much to people. They could see how skillful you are and on your instrument, and bingo.
No, it was great. I enjoyed every bit of it. And I'd like to thank you for inviting me over, and with Jill, and to go there and experience and mix with a lot of the people who were around in the 60s, you know, in the early 20s.
With the old Merseybeat musicians,
Yes.
And they backed you at the Cavern, same guys.
Yes.
Together with my partner in Hart Carney, Jack Carney. He came over from Manchester and helped out. And we're going to do it all over again tomorrow night, aren't we?
Whereabouts is that again?
We're going to the Standish Unity Club.
Ah, okay. Right. Looking forward to that.
And we're going to Lanky Cats. This is our version, the Lancastrian version of Mersey Cats and Mersey Rats. So we're doing exactly the same thing as they are. We're putting on 4 bands as usual, and you are one of them. It'll be Ray Quon with the blue, or should I say Ray Quon with the 2016 Blue Echoes.
Okay.
I think we get over it that way, don't we?
We can get over it that way, yes.
So so Ray's going to be playing at 8 o'clock.
Right.
Followed up by Beats Working, who again played at the Cavern last week.
Yes.
Minus their keyboard player. They went home as a threesome.
Oh.
And they've got their keyboard player back from honeymoon.
Oh, okay.
And so you can tell how young he is by just saying he's been on honeymoon.
Yeah, that's right.
That doesn't really make a difference.
No,
these days,
but it does give an indication that he's probably younger than us.
Yeah, I know. I hate him. Yeah, but anyway, so that's the Beats Working, and then we've got Still Standing, which of course basically are the band that back you up, aren't they?
Yeah, they
basically. There's three guys in Still Standing who did your backup at Mersey Rats, at the Cavern, and they're doing it all over again tomorrow night.
Now, looking forward to it.
It'll be a great night. Good atmosphere in the Unity Club.
Yes.
And you'll wow them. You will. There's no question about it, because they love the rock and roll, don't they? And it's absolutely the right place to be doing that kind of thing.
Yeah.
And then, have I missed anybody else? Oh yes, we've got Searchlight on that bring up the back end of the night.
Right.
And last time they played the last spot and blew everybody away. I've never seen the dance floor as full. What a dancing band they are! Fantastic dancing band.
Looking forward to it.
So we'll charge you £1 to get in. That'll go to our charities,
Right.
And then you go and play and do some heavy drinking or whatever you want to do afterwards. All
Right. Lovely.
Yeah.
Lovely.
Okay. So have you got another track for us?
Well,
Ray?
if we can find the right track,
we are winding up now nicely.
can find the right track.
Yeah. So we should have had this ready for you, folks. But
Yes,
meanwhile.
yes.
What we're doing here on the Lanky Beat Show, we're putting the Red Rose County of Lancashire on the world's rock and roll map, and in so doing, we're telling you what we were here, just like they were in Liverpool and just like they were in Manchester, but we got very little recognition because we didn't have the bands really. What do I mean by that? We didn't have the Beatles and we didn't have the Hollies, and the Hollies were from Manchester and the Beatles were from Liverpool. Well, which bands were there in Lancashire? Well, we did have the Four Pennies, and we did have Lemmy, God bless him, out of the Rockin' Vickers, which then became and manifested itself into...
We had George Formby.
Diane's saying we had George Formby as well. Of course we did.
Oh.
And what was Lenny's band's name?
Lemmy.
Lemmy, yeah.
From the rock band.
From the rock band, Lemmy.
He's
Anyway.
in...
Yeah,
yeah.
We're all stumped here. I bet you're gagging you're shouting at the radio. I know.
Ace of Spades, the big hit.
Ace of Spades was the big one. What band was doing the Ace of Spades? We can think of everything but that. But anyway, he was from Blackpool, wasn't he? So we've not got that many who are good recording artists. But into a little secret here that the Hollies, 3 of them of the Hollies, were actually from Lancashire, a Lancashire village just the other side of Blackburn. Although they attached themselves to 2 Salford lads called Alan Clark and Graham Nash. So basically they weren't a Manchester band, really. So, and that's not very well known.
Oh.
There you go. So that's a little bit of
So
pop
you're claiming
music.
them to be one of your...
We're one of us, a Lancastrian.
A
One of us.
Lancastrian.
Yeah, a Lancastrian. We're winding up, Ray.
Or maybe just play another...
Motorhead.
Yeah.
Motorhead. We've
Oh.
got it. They were Motorhead.
Motorhead.
He played bass in Motorhead, did Lemmy. And he was from Blackpool. And he was in a band called the Rockin' Vickers. And I remember seeing them live. And they just blew my ears out. I've never been the same since. And that was in 1963 when I saw them.
Wow.
At a little village we'd just come through. In a little village hall. And I think they raised the roof by about 6 inches, and otherwise it would have been with the volume that they put on that night. But we'd never seen anything or heard anything ever like it since. Any road up, as they say in Wigan. We've got your last vestiges of your music coming up. Ray, I want to thank you so much for coming on the Lanky Beat Show and giving us the benefit of all your Australian experiences. And now you've had your British experience, you can add that to the collection.
Lovely. And I'd like to thank you very much, Bill, for arranging all this and the 3 gigs in Liverpool for Jill and myself. It's really good.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
So we'll say goodbye to you,
And
Ray.
goodbye to
Safe
him.
journey home on Friday, Saturday. Catch your plane on Saturday.
Yes.
And with Jill. Jill, just want to hear your little voice. Just say hello, Bill.
Hi, Bill.
Ah, that's
everyone.
nice. And Christine, you can say hi, Bill. Oh no, she's not going to say that. She's my wife.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, she's going to say something
goodbye,
quite
Bill.
I thought she was a friend
Eh?
of yours.
Say what?
Goodbye, Bill.
Goodbye, Bill.
Testing.
Diane, thank you very much for producing the Lanky Beat Show once more with superb efforts. We've made loads of mistakes, but it doesn't matter.
Who cares?
And who cares? So Ray, just sign us out. What particular track is this?
Well, we hope it's a song called Goodbye My Love Goodbye, but it may not turn out that because the tracks have been mixed up a little bit, which is not your fault, it's my fault.
Yeah.
And it's the right track. It's a song I wrote many years ago when I was under the influence of Elton John.
Okay. We've had.
If it's not,
Yep.
no, this is not the one.
This is not the one.
It's not
as
the
usual.
one.
As usual.
It's
We can't. All the track listings are all out on the actual CD package.
This is the one. This is the one.
He's got the one.
This is
Got
the
one.
one.
Just before you let it kind of rip, I just want to thank everybody for listening out there. The world is listening in. The hospital is listening in. Wigan Hospital is listening in. Goodbye and God bless everybody. Bye bye.
Bye.